Peace, what's good? Y'all know the vibes. Y'all know the channel. Boom Baptism. I'm your host, self-taught, aka Gorgeous God, aka Supreme Self-Esteem of Law. Now I want to talk to you all about something that came across my mind this morning. Now, when an artist or group prepares their debut album, they feel a tremendous amount of pressure to make this album sound bananas sonically from top to bottom. It's a huge pressure, and a lot of these albums that they try to make, they want to make them stand the test of time because a lot of times, when they're coming out with their debut album, these are artists or groups that have been doing music since they were young. And let's say they started at 10 years old, rhyming or whatever, and then by the age of, let's say, 23, 24, they finally get a chance to drop their debut album. So a lot of times you have all that built up energy from when you were a little kid to make a masterpiece, something that's just sonically dope. However, there's a different type of pressure they feel after they do that and make something that stands the test of time, which is making up a follow-up that blows the first one out of the water. A lot of times they're not able to do that. So, and I'm not saying they fell victim to the sophomore jinx. It's just the first album they did just overshadows everything. It was just a hard act to follow. So without further ado, let me get into this topic, and it's hip hop artists / groups who never topped their first album. Let's get into it. All right, so number one, and like I said, all this is my opinion. So save the hate mail and all the hate emails or whatever, because in the words of Raw Bass, you don't like it, so what? I don't care. This is my opinion. All right. So number one, Boogie Down Productions, Criminal Minded, hands down. I don't think that album has ever been topped by BDP, even though they came out by All Means Necessary, and that was a dope album. But this album right here hits a little different. I mean, and it's this his claim, this their claim to fame. I shouldn't say his because it was BDP was KRS-One, Scholar Rock, and D Nice. Two, Eric B. and Rakim, Paid in Full. I mean, let's just be honest with ourselves. I mean, Rakim has put out a few bodies of work that was dope, but this Paid in Full will always be his claim to fame, or their claim to fame, excuse me. Three, Lord Finesse, Funky Technician. Now, I like Return of the Funky Man, but when I first heard Lord Finesse, Funky Technician, I think I was like 15 years old. And that is one of the albums, hands down, from top to bottom, every song was fire. Every song was fire. And I don't think he ever topped that album. Return of the Funky Man was dope, but Funky Technician just overshadows that. Four, Pete Rock and CL Smooth, Mecca and the Soul Brother. I forgot the name of the second album, but Mecca and the Soul Brother with Troy and had a whole lot of other just smashing songs on there. Like they never topped the first album, Mecca and the Soul Brother. So 5, we're gonna take it to Brooklyn, Medina, Black Moon Into the Stage. That right there will always be Black Moon's claim to fame. I know they came out with albums after that were just really, really dope, but it just never topped Into the Stage. That is a classic. That's probably in a lot of people, I would say maybe top 50 albums Into the Stage. There's no getting around that. 6, Smith and Wesson, The Shining. Woo! And they're still putting out dope material to this day, but The Shining was just like their claim to fame. I mean, it was just sonically, top to bottom, just a really, really tight album. And, I know they came out with albums after that as the Cocoa Brothers and a few other albums. And I think they just put out one recently, maybe a year or two ago. But that Shining, it just still stands the test of time, and it just hasn't been topped. We're going to keep it in the Boot Camp Click fam real quick. We're going to go down to Helter Skelter, Nocturnal. Magnum Force was all right. It was all right. But Nocturnal, hands down, top to bottom, solid. Helter Skelter never topped this first album right here. Number 8. And I know y'all all should agree on this. 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying. Hands down, top to bottom. I know he did the Massacre, whatever. But this Get Rich or Die Trying, and I'm not really the biggest 50 Cent fan, put it that way. I mean, I like some of his stuff, but this right here, this album right here, like I said, there's no way you can touch that. Number 9, Slick Rick, The Great Adventures of Slick Rick, has not been topped. He's put out a few projects here and there, but there's just nothing, none of them compared to The Great Adventures of Slick Rick. He can do a whole tour of that album. Now, this one may cause a little controversial because, like I said, this is my opinion. Number 10, Naughty by Nature. That first Naughty by Nature was fire. Now, they had one afterwards. I think they had with Hot Potato on it, 1983, things like that. But it's still something about that first one with Guard Your Grill, Ghetto Bastard on it, Yoke the Joker, The Wickedest Man Alive. I mean, that was just a really dope album. And I don't think Naughty by Nature had topped that album. Number 11. Nice and Smooth. That first Nice and Smooth, top to bottom, had me in a zone. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think they've ever topped that first album. That first album will always be their claim to fame. Early to Rise, Know the Land, Funky for You, I mean, Skilled Trade. They had a lot of dope joints on that album. And Nice and Smooth made a lot of other good projects, but this you can't top Nice and Smooth's debut. Number 12. It's going to be another controversial one, but this is my opinion. Big Daddy Kane, Long Live the King. He has not topped that. Yes, he put out as a Big Daddy thing, and he put out a Taste of Chocolate, but this is going to be his claim to fame. Wrath of Kane, Smooth Operator. You just can't. There's no getting around it. No getting around it. This is another controversial one, and I don't care what y'all say. He came close to topping his first debut album. Close, but no cigar. Only Built for Cuban Links, Raekwon. Come on, man. That first one just hits a little different. Second one is slamming too. Like I said, came close, but that first one, yeah. 14. Y'all may laugh, but who cares? Kid and Play, Too Hype. Anything else after that, 15. Queen Latifah, All Hail the Queen. I know she did that. Latifah's Had It Up to Here, and all that was dope, but that first album she did before, and she put out maybe one or two others, but, this right here was the one that was fire that everybody's going to speak about and continue to speak about. 16, Jungle Brothers, Straight Out the Jungles. Now, I know they did Done by the Forces of Nature and a few other things, but Straight Out the Jungle, I mean, come on, man. I mean, there's nothing else to say. 17, X-Clan, To the East Blackwoods. Now, they put out Exodus, and the intro alone was just slamming on Exodus. I love the intro, but To the East Blackwoods, when they came out with that, top to bottom, every song was dope. Brother Jay was his pen game. He was jeweling, dropping jewels. He was building straight fire. No way they could top that album. That was, to me, a perfect album as well. 18, MC Shan, Down by Law. Now I know he did the other one. What was that one he called? He had I Pioneered This or whatever, and things like that. Then he had the other one, which I don't know what he was thinking when he put that. There was another one he put out where in the video he was swinging from he was in a tuxedo or Play It Again, Shan. I don't know what was. No disrespect, Shan, but Down by Law, man, that right there is just a classic. 19. Let me unzip my coat for this, so you can see the low real quick. You know what I mean? Low on top of low. 19, to me, he has not topped this album. I'm sure people will argue It Was Written was better, Stillmatic was ill. Nas Illmatic. Let's just be honest with ourselves. And we still want to hear another Nas Illmatic. He has another Illmatic in him, but that's a whole nother topic that I'll save for a whole nother occasion. But Nas Illmatic, if you lined up all his albums that I had to pick to play for the rest of my life, it would be Illmatic, hands down. Last but not least, Biz Markie, Going Off. Anyway, those are the 20 albums I could think off the top of my head, and the 20 groups, artists and groups who never topped their first album. Anyway, you know the vibes, you know the channel, Boom Baptism. If you're on YouTube watching this, like, comment, and subscribe. If you're on IG, follow me to get more content. Might put up another beat video later on today. But on that note, enjoy your day. Peace.